Welcome back. We're still discussing building collapse and way out. That takes me to my own last question now. It says, how then do we avoid or prevent building collapse in the future?
In the future. Okay. I would also like to also come back a little bit.
Yeah.
You see, this collapse we are talking about. You see, a building can collapse even from the design stage. Yes.
Not even when it's already...
When you are, not even when you see it physically.
Yeah.
A building can collapse from even the planning stage.
Wonderful.
When certain things are not put rightly. So we have to ensure...
That one looks better. At least will not kill many people like this one now.
Yes.
When the children already there, you understand?
So we have to make sure that all that needs to be done at the planning stage, they are done properly. I cannot use some terminology here because it will be too scientific for this audience.
Use, we'll go understand and explain to us.
For example, you see, assuming there is a part of the design you are doing, that's what we call span deflection, span depth ratio for deflection. And you do your calculations and your deflection ratio tells you that this thing cannot satisfy deflection. You understand? And you go on. Nobody can do that, but I'm just telling you. So if you go on and do that, and the calculation has told you that this structure will deflect, don't you know that the structure has already failed?
That's true.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Now, you do your investigation, and the soil investigation says that the foundation must be seated at so meters below the soil. And somebody goes there and dig the ground,
shallowly,
and put it there. The building has already what? Failed.
Yes.
So
And
all
that's
these
the
things,
beginning of it, really.
yes. There's one thing we call superimposition of drawings, whereby the architectural drawing, the structural drawing, the MIE drawing, you will superimpose them. So the pipe for the plumbing man, you will see it how it's moving. Maybe it's hitting a beam, and you cannot chisel that beam. At the review meeting, you say, no, turn your pipe this way. I will not allow you to touch my beam. Okay. Turn your pipe this way. I will not allow you to touch my column. So all these are serious processes going on.
But are we diligent to take it this way? That's the problem.
We're doing it. We're doing it. Is all this? Is this in this last stage of this construction that most of these problems are always coming up? That's why we need to be strong on it with synergy with the government.
Okay.
We need to be strong on it. So building can fail from design stage, but nobody will want to do that. Design stage is always very critical and perfect. We do, in fact,
to be able to carry the body of the building.
A project can be designed for even a whole year. There was a time in around 2002 that we were doing a project that co-consultants were coming from France every Tuesday. We will review and review, they will go back. So this thing has serious issue, but it's all this after, when you move to side, most of these things normally come up. But I believe that government is going to block it in conjunction with.
So once they do away with compromise.
Yes.
Whether from the owner of the building, which you call client, or the engineers or the worker, or from government side, if we do it without compromise.
And again, issue of materials too. I want to
use substandard materials. And they collected money for original.
Yes, let me tell you something. Even right now, this is my own suggestion.
Yeah.
See, most of the blocks you see being sold around, they are terribly weak.
No enough cement, something.
Yeah, yes, they are not weak. So government should also mandate, create a department that will go around and check
all the block industries.
All this thing they are producing. And at the same time, in order to solve this problem more in detail, I would suggest that any building that is up to maybe a story building, they should ensure that it is a framed structure. What I mean by frame structure is that none of the blocks is carrying load. Because the blocks you are buying, they have integrity problem. So they should make sure that they should not encourage any load-bearing structure again for this season. Because
maybe that is also why some people like to mold their block by themselves. They like to buy sand and cement and say mold it before I use. They wouldn't want to go and buy for. But another issue there too, like someone like me, like a novice. So I don't know how many
cement ratio.
So even you also mold from it and you didn't use, it's still going to be another issue again.
That's why I'm suggesting that load-bearing structures should not even be encouraged any longer. It should be frame, whereby it's the beams, the columns that will carry the load. So even if the blocks are broad and they are not that, you cannot really totally verify it. At least a collapse will be minimized. Yes. To be, unless the column is having an issue or the beams are having an issue and the foundation.
So we're also using this opportunity to talk to those that have block industries. Please help. The building collapse, somebody molded block for those houses that have been collapsing. Let us also look at that, whether that is where the problem is coming from. If you know that a bag of cement can mold only 9 blocks, why will you take 1 bag of cement to mold 15 or 18 or 20 blocks? It's already substandard. Please, because of money, because cement is expensive, you charge the person and do the right thing. It's who is allowed that will live in the house, isn't it? So please, those owners of block industries, help us in this regard too, to look inwards and do the right thing. Those selling rod, do not compromise. If you know the rods have different inches, if you know that the smaller one will not do it, this is the bigger, please sell the real one. Those of you contractors who collecting money and you will still go and buy substandard materials to build because you want to make more gain. Please, all of you are involved in this building collapse. We need to have a way out, and the way out is why we are speaking this way. Please, if you amend your own way, this other person amend his own ways, you find that all of us will be happy. When you build house, now it's going to remain the way it should be, and that is what we are discussing here. Now we'll take a break, then come back, enter a session for question and answer. Vivid View,
say and do it.
My name is Wisdom Momenam. Are they concerned partners involved before erecting a building structure?
My name is Fola Oludotun. My question is, how about houses built in the rural areas without the contribution of an architect? Is there any measurement be provided to renew them to the new standards?
My name is Ibrahim. Thank you very much, sir. My question, how can we contact a professional engineer to handle a building project?
My name is Afolabi Bukonlua. If a building is not well structured, how can the government official detect and correct it?
My name is Blessing. Is there any sanction for government officials who come to the site to inspect without proper checking?
Welcome back. There are a lot of questions from the audience. So please, our guests, you provide answers to them.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me start with the question number 1, or the one I call question number 1 here. Are there concerned partners involved before erecting a building? Yes, I've already said it. There are concerned partners. We have the client. The client is a partner in the game because he is the originator of the idea. Then we have the architect. Then we have the structural engineers. We have the services engineers that we call the mechanical and the electrical. Then we have the geotechnical engineers, those that do investigation on the soil before you determine the kind of foundation and all other things that are involved therein. Let me also tell you something about this. In the investigation of the soil too, you can find out that maybe there are some, constituent of the soil that can even attack the concrete, which, yes, like when you have salt.
The concrete has already been laid.
Yes, when you have a salt.
Salty, okay.
Yes, it can weaken your concrete and can do so. That is why there's a reason for all these proper things these things to be done. We have the quantity surveyor that we call the QS that will do the estimate. And then we have all other professionals before we now talk of the contractor. So the most important thing is each party should be allowed to do its work, and then there is a collaboration
Yeah.
together before you now go to site. I think that answers the question.
This is VVView.